I'm walking and talking here. But I had a couple things that I wanted to talk about today that I thought were really necessary, especially for this time of year. This stuff is super necessary. So even if the video isn't good, I hope the audio is good for you guys. So I guess let's get into it. So in regards to manifestation, right? I was thinking about how last year, the winter, I took time to sort of ground myself and kind of like be in it. And, right, so in the winter, you kind of ground yourself. You go inside yourself, you clean out, you find your new purpose. In the spring is when you got the grounding, you found your purpose, and now you have to plant the seeds. And I hope you guys can hear me while I'm talking here. So this time of year is really about planting the seeds for what you want to manifest for the summer. Because the summer is kind of like when everything's blooming and everything's beautiful, and then you know, and where everything's moving and there's energy, and then you have your harvest in the fall. So it's sort of like your harvest for the year. What did you gain from the year, from this journey, this experience? So right now, being as we're just getting into the spring, it's the perfect time to choose to manifest. It's the perfect time to really set in your mind what you want to be doing for the next 3 months, right? With exactly where you're at. And hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you need a tarot card reading or dream decoding, hit me up. If you want to drop a little donation to my CashApp, that's Empress Isabel Montero. So check that out. What's up, Josette? So right now is a great time to set in your mind what exactly you want to be doing for, well, let's say till about September, November, right? What do I want to do this summer? What do I want to do? And it shouldn't all be play. You should have some stuff in there that is work related, or that's related to your passion and your things that you want to manifest in your life. You know, things that you want to grow, things that need watering. That's kind of what I would focus on. That's what I am focusing on. I did a meditation for it today. I just started up. Now I had a weird experience this morning. So I had this crazy dream, and in the dream I was in an argument. So I leave the house, I'm all mad and stuff, and then I'm in a park. And at the park, I see this lady and this mom, and she's talking with her friend, and she's totally ignoring the baby, and the baby's laughing, and the baby's fine. And then her and the friend are like, you know, talking about drama and gossip or whatever, and the baby's still fine. But then I see this badger. And then I see the badger, and it's like I'm frozen. I can't save the baby. The baby doesn't know what's about to happen to them. And then this badger is literally chewing a hole in the baby's back. And the badger's chewing a hole in the baby's back in this dream, right? And I'm wanting to help this baby. I want to save them. I want the mom to know what's going on, but she's just blissfully unaware. And then the baby just starts crying because it's in so much pain. And it was weird because at this part of the dream, and when I first started, in the dream, when I first left after this argument, I leave the house and I'm like, maybe that wasn't me. That was the first thing I thought. I'm like, maybe that wasn't me. And then I start waking up and falling back asleep, but it was almost like there was something coming out of me. And this is the thing that we all, when you start to open up your root, and when you start to tap into your trauma, you'll notice that certain spiritual entities actually have attached themselves to you based on your trauma. So this is a big one for a lot of people. And these are real entities, and they are violating universal law by attaching themselves to you and by eating off of your energy. So you need to be really aware of this at this time. And if anybody's having any issues or anything, or needs some help clearing, or needs some advice, please, please, please hit me up. And I got rid of this entity. I started saying, you are not allowed here. It already left my body. It was a little because of that dream. It turns out in that dream, that baby was me. And that entity was the trauma that I went through as a child, because I was abused as a child. I was molested when I was a kid. So that was the entity that transferred from my molester to me, ended up being this badger entity. And where they live usually is in your spinal column. They really attach to all your energy centers. So I started chanting as I woke up, and I told it to leave. I was directed by the spirit to anoint myself with some olive oil, so I anointed with some oil. And I saged my room to get rid of all the energy. But you guys have to be aware of this at this time, and this is a great time, especially during, especially since we just came out of that retrograde. It's a good time to go into your past traumas and start releasing these entities and start getting your spirit in a space that is clear. And honestly, I started crying because I realized that this entity feeds off of sexual energy, and a lot of the mistakes and the errors and things that I did, maybe when I was drinking, or when I was just not as responsible sexually, I realized that this entity thank you, Kevion. I realized that this entity was feeding. It wasn't even me. And I was like, my soul is pure, because this literally wasn't me. It wasn't me. This entity was persuading me, and by abstaining from sex, and by cleansing, and by choosing to love myself, and by choosing my path as a spiritual teacher and a spiritual healer, I was able to heal myself. So you guys, I don't even want it. It's such low vibrational. I wouldn't want it in my presence. It was disgusting. So you guys can do the same thing. And I'm just giving my story so that other people know that these things are real, that you're not crazy, and that you can be healed, and that you can move past these things. Kevion, thank you for watching, and thank you for your words, your kindness. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all the people on my path who've come and really supported my journey and my mission. Like, you guys make my world go round. I love people, man. That's why I do what I do. So yeah, just wanted to share that little story so that people know that they're not crazy, that these are real things that are happening. Your bodies are becoming lighter. A lot of old emotional trauma has to come up. And we're becoming crystalline etheric beings. So this is part of the process, because you can't have dirty energy on you when you're heading into 4D. So that's something that you guys are going to want to just be aware of at this time. Hey, what's up? Another thing, now what else? Now I went off on a tangent with that, because I wanted to talk about the manifestation thing. Oh yeah, so the last thing, I started doing a yoni cleanse anyway. So ladies, you guys need help with your yoni pearls or steams or whatever, hit me up and I'll direct you. I don't make money off that stuff. I don't have them on my website. So, but I have very particular ones that I use that have worked very well for me. So if you guys need help with that, and that's good for cleansing the womb. I like the yoni pearls because I'm very connected with herbs. Some girls like the steams. You can do either or. And it's really, really good to cleanse the wombs. A lot of your sexual partners and men that maybe you haven't even slept with for years and years have attachments to you still. That's why when you haven't had sex for a while and your energy starts to build up, a lot of these men will start calling you. It's because they can sense that your energy is higher, and they're not aware of what they're doing. They may have entities attached to them or they may be lower vibrating themselves. So the whole thing is, when you abstain for a while from sex and you're really focusing on healing and you're focused on yourself, you'll have old dudes that you used to talk to, whatever, like hit you up. Just play past that, totally like ignore them, and keep focusing on yourself, because there's an entity in you, or there's a lower vibration that you need to come out of. And regardless of how bad you want that, it's better to just leave it alone and give yourself time to heal. And like doing a fast, like I'm doing a 3-day fast right now, with just water, and then I will have some fruit and vegetable juices midday, probably in a little bit. I haven't had them yet today. And just teas, and because I have a juicer at home, so I just juice. So this with a lot of meditation, being reflective, especially now that we're in the season for planting. I want to make sure I have all my ideas and exactly what I want to manifest over the next 4 months completely. I want to see it vividly. The more vividly you see it, the quicker it manifests, and it'll actually manifest better for you. When I had my child, my son David, he's 8 now. When I first had him, I was so like, it was, I only have one kid, so, never had a baby before. Now I gotta have this thing that's fucking big come out of my coochie, and I was freaking the fuck out. So I would visualize every day. Every night before I went to bed, I used to visualize, because my mom had a C-section and I didn't want one. I want to have him vaginally. So I would visualize exactly what I wanted. And because sorry for the noise, guys, because I visualized exactly what I wanted, I didn't have to have a C-section. My body was very, very healthy. I worked out the whole time I was pregnant. I literally took a Lamaze class. I did it. I took a Lamaze class, and I just did everything I needed to do to ensure that I could have my son exactly the way I wanted to. So the whole thing is, as you're putting your thoughts in alignment with your actions, and your actions in alignment with your thoughts, the more detailed those thoughts are, the easier it's going to be to direct yourself. So that's going to be really important at this time. Make sure you're spending some time. If you feel like you need to fast and you need to let go of stuff, do it. Do it. Don't listen to what anybody has to tell you. This is healing, and this is for you. You do what you need to do to heal. And then what you can do is you can literally visualize exactly how you want the next couple months to go, and the exact things, the exact like little things that you really want to get done, and you can do it. I promise you can do it. If I could have my son, and when I'm built like my mom and I'm supposed to have a C-section, and I could have my son the way I want to have him, you guys can manifest whatever the fuck you want. You just have to really be mindful and diligent. That's the main thing. Mindful, diligent, be consistent, and it's gonna happen. And I promise you guys, it'll happen for you. So I'm gonna go, because I'm going to the gym, because that's part of my whole fasting thing. I'm gonna hit the gym and do about just 45 minutes of cardio to activate. And if you guys do cardio, if you do intervals, it actually activates your meridians, so you might want to check up on that. I'm just gonna do some steady state stuff because I'm just getting back into it, but eventually I'll be running up hills like I used to. I used to run up these big fucking hills and do my fucking intervals and shit that way. So you guys have an awesome day. I love you infinitely. Take care of yourselves. Bye.